So we were just out walking. This is kind of our daily route. We're walking around Safety Harbor, and it's just such an incredible neighborhood, and we're just talking about Thailand and getting ready for our move. We're less than 2 months away at this point, and just talking about how, you know, it's easy to change your life when your life is not going well or you're not happy with the way things are going in your life. You don't love where you live. You like really need to change, you know, something's not going right.
Feeling stagnant.
Or having goals that you haven't accomplished. And, you know, as we think about getting ourselves mentally prepared for Thailand, it just kind of like dawned on me that it might be even harder mentally to make a change when your life is great. Like, we love where we live. We're financially stable. We can afford our lifestyle. Our neighborhood is wonderful and safe. Our kid can walk to school. We have no problems. Like, our life is so breezy. And it's like we're getting ready to uproot like a perfect life. Like, our life really is like close to perfect. I mean, people say nothing is perfect, but I mean, our life is pretty darn good. You know, and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that to know that when we get to Thailand, what I'm having to wrap my head around is that it won't be as comfortable and familiar, obviously, as our life is right now. We know all the best places to go here. We know what life is like. We go to sleep in the same bed every year for the last
10
years, you know, and we've been in the same house for 7 years. And so, you know, going around Thailand and living in other people's houses, that comfort, we're throwing that out the window. And that's the biggest thing that I'm getting myself ready for, is just knowing that, you know, I'm not going to go to bed in my own bed. We may not have our own room. Like, Sunny may have to share a room with us at some accommodations, because we may find an accommodation that we really, really want, or that's a really great price for us, and it might be a studio, because I've looked at some studios in Thailand. So that's kind of the hardest part for me. It's just I'm constantly telling myself, get ready for being unfamiliar with your surroundings and being okay with that. What about you? What's the hardest part for you mentally? Like, what are you wrapping your brain around?
One comes to mind is, you know, our yard sale that we have coming up tomorrow. Just looking at everything that we're getting rid of, like everything that we've had so much stuff, and a lot of me is just like, dude, just get rid of all of it and just start over. Like, why are you taking this? And I know some people are like, dude, you got a perfect shoe in there. Why not use it? You're wasting money. But I just feel like I just want a different persona of myself. I want to be something. I want that feeling of feeling different.
So you're changing your style up.
Changing not just the style, but I just feel like I don't want to bring that US mentality with me. Like, I just want to start fresh. So I think that's my biggest thing. I just want to start fresh, everything.
So Sean's not looking to take any of his same clothes or shoes. Like, maybe he bought a new pair of tennis shoes, and he's going to take those over. And then you said you might keep like one pair of tennis shoes. But we're talking about a sneakerhead, a ball cap collector. Like, Sean collects all the sports clothes, and he's selling all that stuff.
Everything. I think I'm keeping like maybe one Dodgers jersey, just because, you know, it's a sort of a homesick feel, I guess. Sentimental, yeah. I'll probably keep that, but everything else, I'm getting rid of it. It's got to go.
A lot of times people ask us, what are the steps to moving abroad? What are the first few things that I could start doing right now if I wanted to move abroad?
Don't bring the U.S. with you. That means,
what do you mean by that?
you have to detach yourself from, you have to put yourself in a different mind frame. Your mind frame is you are leaving. You have no attachments whatsoever within this country of anything that you own. Like you were talking about with the hurricane. Hurricane made us realize that when they told us like it's time to go, we have to get out of there. We have a house full of just expensive stuff, which is trash that we don't need. Get your most important valuables, and a lot of times it's like really like 3 or 4 things. That's really it. That just lets you know right there, you do not need anything else in that house. All you need is just those 3 things. So what would those 3 things be for you?
So to kind of expand on that, we've left our house twice for 2 major hurricanes. And when you leave your home behind, you leave knowing that there is a chance you may not come back to a home. This could be true in an earthquake, flood, tornado, fire. Okay. So you're grabbing what you know that you absolutely need, right? Your important documents.
Like a computer.
Yeah, computer. You know, for Sonny, it'd be like a couple of stuffed animals that he considers friends. And so shifting your mentality to what do I absolutely need to get by in life? Like my juicer, my blender. that.
And Vitamixes works wonders.
So that would probably be the first thing, is shifting your mentality, detaching from stuff. And to go back to what Sean is saying about don't take the United States with you, is don't take the materialistic, consumeristic, is consumeristic a word? The overconsumption. Here we have to have more. We have to have bigger. We have to have upgraded. We have to have so much. I used to be a person who, if I found something I like in the store, particularly like with clothes and shoes and handbags, I would not just stop at one color. I had to buy as many colors as I could get my hands on, because I thought if I like this one, then I'll use multiple of them. And so that's how I accumulated way more stuff than a person need. Also, I worked in retail for many years, like 15 years. So I got the employee discount for clothes and shoes and bags. And so, you know, I overconsumed because of that discount, and also because of the pressure by the companies I worked for to always be displaying the latest. You know, I had to have the latest clothes and shoes for the stores that I managed because I was the manager. You know, I have to always be showing the latest. I mean, I've even worked for companies where you could not show up in last season's items. Like, you would get written up. Isn't that crazy? Like, you're supposed to be going and earning money, but you have to spend money back with that company because you have to wear the latest stuff. They're not giving you the stuff to wear. You have to buy it. Even at a discount, that still adds up. Yesterday, Sean sold his bike to a friend of ours that he rides with.
That was tough.
That was tough.
Just a little bit. But
I sold mine too.
Yeah, sold yours too.
So both of our road bikes are gone. I still have my mountain bike and Sonny's bike to sell. I sold my paddleboard. That was a little tough because I just got it last year and only used it a handful of times, and I just wanted to
backpack and everything.
Yeah, so we could have taken it with us.
But it is
heavy,
big.
And we would have had to check it. We took it to the Bahamas, and we had to pay extra because that's like a piece of luggage. So I think I paid, was it like $70? I'm not sure.
What, for the paddleboard?
To take the paddleboard to the Bahamas.
Oh yeah, that was $70.
It was $70 to take it to the Bahamas, and it was so cold when we got to the Bahamas that we ended up not even using it. So it's like I don't want to be traveling from airport to airport with this paddleboard and then possibly not even using it. I mean, $70 is a good chunk of money for an inflatable paddleboard. Right. So, but you know, we still have the kayak to sell. We have the cars, and so my question to you is like, what's what's the hardest material possession to let go of? Like, what do we have?
Well, I think the hardest thing was the bike yesterday, but in good, good spirits, that I actually sold it to somebody who's a friend of mine that I know he's actually going to use it because we ride together on the weekends. So I don't feel as bad. So at least I see it going in good hands of somebody else. But other than that, I don't have attachment to anything. Everything can go.
What's
honestly.
the easiest thing to get rid of?
Easiest thing? Just all those clothes. You see I have like a rack full of clothes.
We both have tons of clothes.
Yeah, tons of clothes.
Sure you guys do too, right? Who doesn't have tons? Everybody has tons of clothes.
All of that stuff. But I just find it funny because I remember you used to have so many clothes. Like you used to take
and
up
handbags,
the entire
shoes,
closet.
Jewelry.
And then somehow you got rid of some of your clothes even before we were going
During
to
the
move.
pandemic,
Yeah.
we knew we wanted to leave. So I slowly started getting rid of stuff during the beginning of the pandemic.
But
Like
then
I didn't wait till
because I started gaining more clothes.
Sean started gaining more
so
clothes.
I started having more, but that's the easiest thing is getting rid of it.
Funny because when you have more space, you get more stuff.
Yeah, and
he got more stuff because he had more closet space.
Yeah, so those are the easiest things. All that stuff can go. I don't have. You look at our house now, we don't have much stuff in there at all. Like, majority of the stuff, like I said, our yard sale this weekend, this stuff has got to go. And we said that we would push it even to Sunday if we don't get some of this stuff sold. If we can't, there is a possibility a lot of that stuff is going to be going to Goodwill. Simple as that. Because I think that will probably be some of the hard parts. If there are things that we just absolutely just cannot get rid of, even if we mark it down and post it on Facebook Marketplace or anything like that, for like $20 or something, which is outrageous for some of the things that we have, that will be the hardest thing. But
it's just like what, turning it away to Goodwill?
Yeah,
I would just rather give it to friends if any of the friends
definitely
could use it.
Yes, I want to go with a backpack, my scuba gear, and like our multimedia stuff, like cameras and GoPros and things. That's it.
The next thing that I would recommend is to start building community and finding your people in whatever country it is that you want to go to. So for us, it's Thailand. We started building community by going into Facebook groups for Thailand.
Very helpful.
One is Brothas and Sistas of Thailand. We'll drop the link to that Facebook group in the description. Another really helpful one is I think it's called Blaxit International Tribe or Blaxit Tribe. That one is great for people who want to explore a number of different countries and compare countries. But one thing that I would suggest before you go into the Facebook groups and ask questions is make sure that you're using Google before you ask a question. Don't go into the Facebook groups and expect the people in these Facebook groups to do all the legwork for you. So use Google and Google Maps to kind of get a general idea of the lay of the land. Okay, there's different, each country has different regions. Look and see, okay, know a little bit of the cities in the north, the south, the east, the west. Kind of get a lay of the land by looking at the maps. Get an idea for the climate and the different seasons before you ask questions about that.
Very important.
Don't ask things that are Googleable because people in these groups will help you, but they don't want to answer things that you can do the research on your own about.
Yeah. So, for example, don't ask, is the city safe? That's a surface question. That's very Googleable to see if the city is safe. It can tell you the population. It can tell you a lot of things just by going to Google
and most cities are safe. Okay. Yeah. So, for instance, don't go into the Mexico Facebook group and say, is Playa del Carmen safe? Is Atlanta safe? Is Miami safe? Is Chicago safe? Right? Like,
Yeah.
There are going to be safe parts and there are going to be not safe parts, you know. So do your research before you ask those type of surface level questions. So while maybe asking if a certain city is safe isn't going to be the most helpful question, maybe you could ask something like, hey, I'm a single mom and I want to connect with other single moms in this particular city that I'm looking into to hear about your personal experience as a parent in this area. You know, are there certain neighborhoods that you enjoy more than others as a single parent? Something like that, something that's specific and something that helps you connect with other people. And then when you get some feedback from someone, maybe asking if you can DM them, or, you know, showing appreciation, like just reaching out and start building your network. Like, for instance, I asked some specific questions about scuba diving in Thailand, and I got like paragraphs from a guy who had so much excellent advice about specific cities for someone who's serious about scuba diving like Sean, that I asked if I could save his information and reach out to him when we got to Thailand, like if we could meet up for lunch, and he was open to that and interested in that. So now we're building a list of people that we can reach out to directly when we get on the ground and meet. And now we don't have to start from scratch in a new city trying to make some connections. So another thing to think about wherever you're looking to move to is know the law.
Oh, so
and
important.
Like, obviously you don't have to know the law about everything, but know some basic stuff. Like, for instance, know if you can work there or not. Instead of thinking that, like, let's say that you sell seashells and you want to go sell seashells down by the seashore, make sure that you know, because that's what I want to do. Make sure you know before you go to that country, or before you go in a Facebook group and start advertising the fact that you are going to sell seashells by the seashore. Make sure you know that country, that you can even do that, because foreigners can't go and set up shop in every country. There are plenty of countries where
they have their laws,
and those laws restrict foreigners from coming in and doing a job that a local person can do. So you may not be able to legally work in certain places. For instance, we were just reading about a lady in Bali who's been living in Bali for several years. I think it was like 10 years.
Yeah.
But she was recently deported because she was teaching, first of all, this is so wild. She was teaching traditional Balinese dances. She's not Balinese. She's been living there, but she's from another country. I believe she's from Brazil. She was teaching Balinese dance classes on the beach and getting paid for it. And a video that she had went viral and she got deported. So make sure that you know what you can do. If you need to earn money while you're living in another country, make sure that you're doing it the legal way.
Yeah, what you're doing, you can do.
If you're a digital nomad,
yes,
get the digital nomad visa. Look and see if there is a digital nomad visa before you go. And if it's a situation of where you legally cannot work, I wouldn't be on Instagram or, Facebook advertising. Because
they actually look. This person, there's been a few in these feeds that talk about, they post all of their information, everything they're doing. Well, some of these countries, they have teams that's their job. They look to see what you are doing. And if you're posting these things, they're going to find out. And they're going to come to your hotel or wherever you're staying, snatch you up and tell you,
they're going to snatch you up.
They're going to snatch you up. So you got to,
they're going to shut it down.
They shut it down. You got to either leave the country or you got to go to jail. And you don't want those headaches. So just abide by the rules and laws that they have. And so, Holly, the question to you is, let's just say like we just decided we wanted to come back, or we had to come back here to Florida. Where would you want to be? Or is the United States, where would you want to be? What would you want to do?
If we were to move back to the U.S., I definitely don't see myself buying a house, like another house here to live in. You know, maybe as an investment, but not for us to live in. The only way right now that I could see myself wanting to come back to the United States and live is if we were to get an RV, because I feel like true freedom for me at this point is like being able to move around and be where I want to be when I want to be there. So, you know, I would love the flexibility of being able to drive to California and spend time with your family more often. I would love to be in Miami. Like if we were going to situate, then I would love to be in Miami for several months out of the year. I just, you know, like, what do you think about that?
Miami, I think we both said, like, we've gone there several times, and Miami is very diverse, more than anywhere in Florida, and we just, you know, we love it. Florida,
We love it. The weather's
Miami,
better.
Yes.
I mean, the weather here is excellent, don't get me wrong, but
I don't know,
it's hotter in Miami.
Yeah.
It's always a few degrees hotter.
Yeah,
so in the winter, that's a big deal for us because, you know, it gets down to like 60, 50, 40 at nighttime sometimes in the winter. And like the last few years, the winters have been kind of harsh. This winter wasn't as bad, but there's been a few harsh winters, and I'm just not about that life anymore. Plus, we don't really have a lot of coconut trees here. I know some people would be like, "That what? That's crazy! Like, what? Why does that even matter? Is that big of a deal, Holly?" Yes, it's that big of a deal. We drink a lot of coconuts, and we would drink even more if we weren't paying $3 to $4 per coconut. So if I had several coconut trees or access to coconuts at a lower price, then, you know, I could probably see myself like staying somewhere, right? So it's like I could stay in Miami because the access to the tropical fruits it's just more abundant down there.
They have more tropical fruit down there anyway. It seems, you know, the sour sops and cherimoyas, even though they have them here, but it's like you only can find them
at the grocery
stores,
store.
And it's just like just a few.
I'd love to get them from the farm so they're fresh and
what was
like
that place called
perfectly ripe.
Was it David's or
Robert's fruit stand, or Robert was
Homestead.
here in Homestead.
Yeah, that place is awesome.
Another thing about RV life is that we could go to all the national parks. There's so many national parks that I want to see
We love to travel
here in the States. And I just love the idea of being able to change our scenery on a regular basis. Like, there's so many places in the U.S. that I would love to go, like but I wouldn't want to live there. So it's like I would love to go up to like Cape Cod and have that whole like Cape Cod experience, but I don't want to live in Cape Cod. It's too freaking cold up there.
No, it's not happening.
I would love to just drive up and down the coast of California because we absolutely love California. However, we don't want to live in California. It's too crazy expensive. I would love to be able to drive our RV down into Mexico. So it's like if we were coming back to the United States, definitely an RV situation, I think. I just don't have a desire to situate in another house and just stay put, especially since we're not you know, schooling Sunny. Like, there's no need to be locked down to one place. And we could go see our family, like my family more often. But I definitely don't want to live in Missouri. Don't even want to stay in Missouri for more than a few days. So it's like we would like do a drive-by, hey, you know, see our family out there and just like keep it moving. What do you guys think? Like,
what do you want to do?
Well, yeah, what do you want to do? Is home ownership still the dream, or is anyone else out there feeling like true freedom is freedom to move around, like location freedom? Is anyone all about location freedom? Let us know. Maybe most importantly is realizing that if you've been feeling called to leave the U.S., understand that this is your journey and not everyone around you is going to understand that, but you still need to be okay just knowing that this is your journey, and it's okay if other people don't understand it. And people are going to say things out of fear, like some of the comments that we've heard, which mostly everyone is really intrigued and really positive about what we're doing. But we have heard some comments about, like, why would you want to leave and go to a third world country? Aren't they all trying to come over here? That to me is a comment of...
It's fear.
It's low vibe. It's very low vibe, and it also lets me know that you haven't really traveled very much, because some of the places that we've been to where people would say, oh, I would never want to live there, they're absolutely beautiful. The people are so warm and happy. The stress is like non-existent. It's just a high quality of living. And, just know that this is your journey. You have anything to add on that?
Yeah, don't let anybody get you discouraged. Go through with what you're doing, and luckily, like I said, for us, like, we haven't had really any negative. Everybody's like, wow, you guys are really doing it. Like, yeah, we're doing it.
A lot of people we meet want to be doing what we're doing, but they feel like they can't.
Yeah, they can't detach
and the thing
themselves.
is you can. You may have to make some sacrifices and let go of some things that are holding you back. But we're not rich in currency, right? We're not rich in money. So it's not like, oh, this is easy for you guys because you're rich and I couldn't afford to do this. We've sacrificed. We're selling everything that we own to make this move, and we're fantastic with it. But we know some people have, made comments about, I couldn't do that, or I couldn't leave my job. Right?
Yeah.
The job is going to always be here.
Yeah.
Take a year.
Seriously.
Why not? The job is always going to be here.
Yeah.
But, for us, these could be some of the best days of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
We have great health. Our son has great health. We can be flexible. If we can't do it now, when could we ever do it, right? Tomorrow is not promised. I don't care how old you are or what you have in the bank. Tomorrow is not promised.
And we've heard so many stories of, people saying, I wish I could have did this, and they just don't simply do it. And these companies, they will take advantage of you. They will they can replace you. You've already, talked about that. So do what you want to do.
We've heard stories about people wanting to move, but then they got the promotion that they've always wanted. It's like, well, that promotion will still be there. That opportunity. Live in an abundance mind state. When you live in an abundance mind state, you realize that anything you can have today, you can have tomorrow, and you can have better, you can have more. All of the same material stuff that we have right now, we can get rid of it all today, and we could get it all back a year from now if we wanted to.
Yep.
I doubt that we'll want to, but we could get it all back. The jobs will be here, but so many people wait for like this magic number. I think one thing that kept us here, because we've wanted to move for years, ever since we first got together, but we couldn't see how it was going to be possible because we felt like we needed this certain dollar amount before we left. And guys, what I will say to that, and this may, some people may not agree with this, but to me, there is no magic dollar amount. Of course, you need to be smart and do your research about the country that you're going to, and use tools, online calculators to figure out what it will cost to live the lifestyle you want to live somewhere else. But also understand that if you feel like you have this really high dollar amount that it would take to get you to be able to move to another country, you might be stuck here. And because trying to save $15, $20, $30, $40,000, or trying to have, trying to wait for that pension, trying to wait for that retirement, For some people, that might be the move, but for a lot of people, that's going to keep you here and keep you in that cycle of always being dependent on your job. And for us, we just know that we are taking the mindset of we'll always have income producing activities. We're retired now at 40, okay? We are officially retired. We do not work for anybody else. So that's what I mean when I say we are retired. We don't work for anybody else. While we will always have income producing activities, we will never trade our time for money if it means taking away from our health, taking away from the bond in our family. If something disrupts our connection as a family, it's not worth it for us. If something is to keep us from being able to be there for the people that matter the most for us, we will not do it. We no longer will allow someone else to tell us when we get to live our lives.
Yeah, we're not putting ourselves second. We're first.
And the final straw was when Sean's job, when Sean was afraid to take time from work to visit our dad when he needed us, when, you know, we were afraid for Sean to take time off for his job because we thought he would possibly be fired. And that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. He has been so loyal, and so many of us are, right? We're so loyal to these jobs that are not loyal to us. They will replace you in a heartbeat.
That's what happened. They will do that. They did not
whether you do all the things right or whether you take the time off. So guys, take the time off. The job will be there. If you come back and you really want that job, it will be there.
And guess what? There's a bunch of other jobs, probably like the one that you do, that are out there. Some of them are like, hey, we'll take you remote.
Or how about you retire right this minute? You create a plan to retire and create your own income producing activities. Think about the things that are unique to you. What do your friends come to you for advice on or help on? You know, are you an excellent chef? Can you be putting out a cookbook or doing online virtual cooking lessons? Are you great with kids? Like, should you be an online tutor? Or, you know, what is it about you what special knowledge do you have that you can use to make money while you move abroad? Legally, again, go check the laws where you're working and make sure that you can do that in whatever country that you want to be in. But guys, let's flip the idea of retirement. Let's retire now, and let's always have streams of income. This is so beautiful. We just never get tired of Safety Harbor and this view. Never get tired of this beautiful place that we live.